Hi, my name is Abby. I'm the founder of Senior Savvy, which provides tech support for seniors. I have a great class lined up for you today. It's about 10 ways that you can quicken a slow PC. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And if you have any questions for me whatsoever, go ahead and put them in the chat or email me. Here we go. So this class is about 10 ways to quicken your PC. I get these inquiries all the time. And in my last class, live class where I taught this, one of my students said that her PC is always really slow on startup. Otherwise, it's okay. One of my other students said that it seems to be slower in the last 3 weeks than it normally is. And then I also received an inquiry from another student who said that they're always getting these pop-ups coming up. And when I get a series of inquiries, I like to then go ahead and put together a workshop for my students. Before I get started, I would like to know about how long have you been on Windows 10? And is your computer right now on Windows 10? The reason I ask that is because there are many functionality issues if you have not already upgraded your computer operating system to Windows 10. I'd also like to know just about how old your computer is, as well as if you have tried anything to speed up your slowing PC. I would love to know from you what you've tried. So today we are going to talk about 10 ways to quicken a slow PC, and I have 2 pro tips that I'm going to offer you toward the end. Now, all of these tips today, they are meant to be done in order. What that means is try one first before proceeding on to the next tip, because sometimes just trying one will do the job for you. You don't have to implement all 10. You can try one, restart your PC, and see if that works well for you. These tips are all Windows 10 specific. That means I'm going to assume that you are on Windows 10 when we talk about these tips. And they're all PC specific. So what that means is this doesn't have anything to do with your internet or your Wi-Fi. These are all just tips that you can do. They're native to your computer. What that means is that they're already built in. I'm just going to show you where you can find them. And I like to keep things simple. KISS, keep it simple senior. I like to keep things simple, and I'm not going to get too complicated or overly technical with you. Now, all of these tips can be located and found on your computer in 2 ways. Okay, the first way is to go to the Settings app. That's what the little gear looks like. And the other way is to type it in the search bar down below. You can type in the keyword of the tip that we are talking about. For instance, in this situation, I'm going to present Windows Update as one of the ways that you can quicken your PC by updating your Windows. So look right here. What I want you to do is type in at the bottom, Windows Updates. And once you type that in or you go searching into the settings, the next category you look for is Update and Security. And then go ahead and check for updates. Let's see if you are completely updated. And I will tell you so frequently when I'm helping clients, this is the first place that I will look, and quite often there are updates to be done, and those updates help with the overall longevity and functionality of your device. Okay, so tip number 1, check for Windows updates. Number 2, this is in regards to your startup apps. And you get there by going to your settings, and then you go to startup. And then look at the list here. See if there's anything that you can toggle off, because every time you turn on your computer and you get started, all of these apps have been set to the default to also be turned on. And many of them you won't even recognize, nor will you need them. So toggling them off helps increase the speed of your PC, because your PC doesn't have to go through the process of starting all of them up. And after you turn them off, go ahead and restart your device and ask yourself, did that help? It's good to know if that's what it was that was slowing down your PC. If it didn't help, let's move on to the next tip. Number 3, go ahead and turn off Windows tips and tricks. That's right, turn them off. So Windows tips and tricks is running in the background. It's almost like you have a watchdog on you, seeing every one of your moves. Well, this takes up a lot of your computer's performance energy, because it has to constantly be tracking all of your moves. And you can toggle and turn that off. You go to your settings, then you click on notification and actions. And then down below, you want to go ahead and turn off get tips and tricks. And then restart your computer. I'd like to know if that helped you with your PC speed. Number 4 is adjust your power options. Now, if you're using the Windows 10 Power Saver plan, you're slowing down your PC, because that plan reduces your PC's performance in order to save energy. Now, this was an eye-opener for me, because I want to save energy. I want to be energy conscious. However, it is something that's slowing down your computer. Who would have known? So what I want you to do is I want you to change it to balanced. Okay, take it off of Power Saver and choose balanced. That is the recommended energy consumption choice. Now the next one here is to turn on Windows maintenance. Now typically our devices are already checking for the maintenance, and this is happening behind the scenes. It's doing things like making sure your security is up to date, as well as performing any system diagnostic tests. Now, once in a while, we may have turned this off without realizing what it actually does. And I want you to go ahead and turn this on. Select a maintenance time that you will not be on your computer, like 10 a.m., and then click OK. And once you have that set, it will begin to run automatic maintenance for you daily. The next one here is adjust performance options. Now, Windows 10 includes many visual effects, such as animations and shadow effects. These look great and they're high tech, but they can also use up additional system resources and slow you down. So if you have a PC with a smaller amount of memory or RAM, this is one area you're going to want to check. So go ahead and you're going to go to settings and you're going to adjust performance options. And then you're going to look for the visual effects tab and you're going to select adjust for best performance. And then down below, you'll have to click on OK. or apply depending on the amount of changes you made. And then I want you to restart your computer. You will probably not even notice that these effects have been turned off or deselected, but your computer performance will. Number 7 is to turn on Storage Sense. So Storage Sense deletes unnecessary and temporary files from your device. It also can free up space. When you turn on Storage Sense, Windows will automatically free up space by getting rid of unnecessary files. There's a good chance that this was already turned on, which is great. But I also want to make sure that your temporary files are being deleted every 30 days, as well as any files that you've downloaded that have been there for longer than 30 days. You don't need them on your computer, and they're slowing down the performance of your device. Number 8 is to disable transparency. The transparency is a Windows 10 feature that brings you shadows and animation and visual effects. So it does take a lot of work for your computer to display these effects for you, and chances are they're not important to you. Here's how you turn them off and disable transparency. You go to Settings and then Personalization. Down below, you'll see the Colors tab. And go ahead and turn off transparency effects. I'd like to know if you even notice the difference and if this has increased your PC speed. Number 9 is to run Windows security. A virus, malware, or some type of malicious software, this could be causing your PC to run slowly. Other things like pop-up messages and just unexpected programs can also be a matter of a breach of your Windows security. The best way to handle these is to make sure that all of these security settings are addressed. And so you go to your settings, then you look up Windows security, and I want you to check to see that these all have a blue and a green check mark next to them, letting you know that no action is needed. If there is one, go ahead and run that scan or turn that one on. Once you set these settings, they'll stay in place, okay? But you may have to go back eventually, occasionally, and check to make sure that all of your Windows security is up to date. Number 10 is to pause OneDrive syncing. So down in the bottom right-hand corner of your home screen on your desktop in the notification area, there's a cloud, and that little cloud symbolizes OneDrive. OneDrive is the Microsoft equivalent to an iCloud, for instance. OneDrive gives you 5 gigabytes of storage, and it's turned on so that you can go from working on one device to seamlessly picking up where you left off on another device. So if you start typing a Microsoft Word document on your computer, and then you need to switch, get onto your laptop, everything will be synced up for you perfectly. Now this syncing, it does cause our computers to run a little slower. And while I'm not in favor of turning it off, I want to know if you did pause it for one day, if you notice a difference. Okay, so go ahead and pause your syncing for 24 hours. And then let's see if your device is running a little more efficiently. That could be the reason why. It could be that you may have to reduce the syncing to just once a day. Now here are my 2 pro tips. And the reason that they're pro tips is because they require a little more technical know-how. The first one here is to disable any unnecessary startup programs. Now, if you've been using your computer for a while, you would know that there is a keyboard command where you do a control and a control, alt, and a delete all at once. Brings up the task manager. And there you can see what items are running in the background. You can also see which apps are running and disable any startup apps. Disable just means that you're turning them off. You're not deleting them, you're just turning them off. And they're still there, they're just not going to run in the background. If you're not sure if you need to turn something off or not, email me or look it up online on Google. Pro tip number 2 is to defrag your hard drive by optimizing space. Now, back in the good old days, the defrag was an option under your system preferences. Remember that? Well, it's still there, it's just in a different place, and it's called something slightly different. It's called optimize drives. And how you get here is you would search for defrag. That's the word, defrag. And then go ahead and optimize the drive and run it weekly. The more you use your hard drive, the more fragmented it becomes. And when it becomes fragmented, then your computer runs inefficiently because it has to keep searching and chugging and searching for the drive and the file. Running this weekly will help keep everything organized. Well, I would love to hear from you about which of these fixes have helped your PC run faster. I'd like to know which one you found most valuable, as well as anything that you learned. There is my phone number and my email address. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. And thank you so much for joining me today.